The WNBA Finals are in full swing, and through the first two games, the number 2 Las Vegas Aces have shown clear dominance. In Game 1, the Aces pulled off an 89-86 victory, relying heavily on their bench. Both A'ja Wilson and Dana Evans led the way with 21 points each. In the final seconds, Satou Sabally missed a crucial three-pointer that would have tied the game for the Mercury. In Game 2, the Aces built on that momentum, earning a 91-78 win. Mercury head coach Nate Tibbetts emptied his bench with just over 3 minutes remaining. Despite a strong performance from Kalia Cooper, who finished with 23 points, now the Mercury look to bounce back in Game 3, while the Aces aim to maintain their commanding series lead. Welcome back to Penn State Sports Night. I'm Erin Riley alongside Brianna Langberg and Julia Henry. Tonight, a closer look at the first two games and what to expect heading into Game 3. In Game 1, the Mercury held the lead nearly the entire game. However, the Aces bench was able to severely pick up and get them that late game victory. What strategies do you think that the Aces were able to take to secure that late game victory? Brianna, we'll start with you.
Yeah, I mean, you talked about it. I honestly thought that the Aces were going to come in a lot hotter than they did. It was very much a back and forth game up until the fourth quarter, but they decided to bring in Dana Evans off the bench, and she, along with Jewell Loyd, who weren't in the starting five, really did pull it off in that fourth quarter. And so I think, like Becky Hammon said in her post-game press conference, that Dana was the battery in this game. And so I think that them relying on the bench heavily made it so that they can pull off that win in the fourth.
Definitely. Going off of that, talking about the benches, I mean, the Aces bench is just absolutely stacked. They outscore the Mercury bench 41-16. That's just kind of crazy numbers to put up in a finals series. Going off of that too, I think Coach Hammon was just kind of coached this game better than Nate Tibbetts of the Mercury. Hammon said, she knew the Mercury kept trying to push. Their ball movement was really, really smooth. Satou Sabally finished about just under 20 points. She had a couple of three-point shots. Their inside-outside game was really great. So she said heading into that fourth quarter, she knew to adjust to a zone defense because the Mercury then weren't able to break that, and that's really how the Aces were able to secure that win. And also, talking about that ball movement, that last possession was just really brutal from the Mercury. They inbound that ball with 13 seconds left. It took them 8 seconds to pass the ball. You can't take 8 seconds at the end when you're down by 3 after you missed free throw shots and then fouled Vegas to let them have the shots. It takes them 8 seconds to get the ball in. And then Satou Sabally has to kind of chuck up just a terrible three-point shot, and that's how you lose Game 1. So certainly not a great ending to that one, but really great adjustments from the Aces to put in, as you said it, that impressive late Game 1 finish.
I think that take is great. The fact that they took 8 seconds to even throw the ball is insane. Now, looking at Game 2, A'ja Wilson, Jackie Young, and Chelsea Gray were able to score 70 points combined in the entire game, which is ridiculous, honestly. How do you think that the Mercury roster is able to keep up with them, or are they not able to keep up with them?
Yeah, it's just hard for the Mercury. This game was a little bit more even in the bench. The Aces just outscored the Mercury 16-8 from those bench players, so a lot better than Game 1. But the Aces just have so much firepower. I mean, talk about Jackie Young. She had 21 points in the third quarter alone. I mean, that's just crazy numbers, and that's really what led them to pull away because it was really even in the first half. A lot of back and forth action, but then at the end, into that third and fourth quarter, the Aces just absolutely pulled away. And the Mercury, they did empty more of their bench, having probably about double the amount of bench players play in Game 2. But again, their bench doesn't do much. They only scored 8 points. Their bench just isn't that deep. So the Aces' firepower and grit really led them to this Game 2 victory and helped them pull away in the second half.
Yeah, I mean, I think you said it perfectly. I want to focus specifically on the dynamic duo between Jackie Young and A'ja Wilson, scoring 30 points combined. And so I just think that duo is super special. And the problem is we don't know what games we're going to get that duo. We saw in Game 1, Jackie Young pulled herself out of the game, honestly, because she wasn't scoring. And so I think that's one clear thing that we really need to focus on. And then also on the other side of the ball, the defense from the Aces, in that fourth quarter, we saw them really show up, which I think was special. And so I think that they just need to continue doing what they do well, especially on the offensive side of the ball. And, you know, even if they have to lean on those bench players, I think they're set up in a really good position right now. They're up 2 games. Even though they're not going to be at home for this game, they are on a 2-game win streak just in the finals, and they're 5-6 against the Mercury. So I think that they have a really good shot here.
Talking about not being at home for the next 2 games, at least, head coach for the Mercury, Nate Tibbetts, says that they're really excited to be at home for the next 2 games and that he thinks that it's really going to be an advantage. Do you think that that's going to have like an effect on them? And are they going to be able to keep the momentum going despite not being at home for the next 2 games?
Well, I definitely think they have vengeance coming in. They're down 2 games. They definitely don't want to get down 3 games. And I think the fact that they are playing at home could have some kind of factor, but they have to stop the Aces from the very first quarter. I mean, the Aces don't necessarily come out hot in the first quarter. They've been known to kind of take the first quarter to warm up, which is a little bit frustrating. But I think that they know that they cannot be down another game, and so they have that kind of vengeance, but it's really going to come down to stopping the players like Jackie Young, Asia Wilson, Dana Evans. So I don't know if they're going to be able to pull it off, but I think coming in down 2 games is a huge point for them.
Definitely. I think the Mercury will take this game 3. I think it kind of helps reset the tone for this series. I still think the Aces ultimately have the firepower and that bench power to likely win the finals, but the big thing is the Mercury's arena holds 5,000 more than the Aces, so 5,000 is a pretty large crowd. So if they can really use that home crowd advantage, I think they can win this game 3. And like you said, they're coming in angry. I mean, game 1 was pretty close. They just lost on a terrible last possession, but game 2, they just completely lost control, and I think really you have to give credit to Becky Hammon for the coaching adjustments she's made, switching up the defenses to prevent that in and out in ball movement, and you just haven't seen that from Nate Tibbetts. So I think as big as it is for the Mercury and the other players to step up besides Alyssa Thomas and Satu Savali, it really remains in the head coach and the adjustments that he's able to make too, because you just haven't seen him make the adjustments that Becky Hammon has made.
I think that I totally agree with the both of you. They are coming in with vengeance. Like, to lose game 2 in the finals the way that they did, like, that's not something that you take lightly, and I don't think that they are going to take that lightly. Moving on, the WNBA finals continue on Wednesday for game 3. Will the Phoenix Mercury be able to finally take home a win, or will the Aces continue to dominate this series? Look into the WNBA finals for Brianna Langberg and Julia Henry. I'm Erin Riley. Have a great night.
Hey everybody, thanks for tuning into this edition of Penn State Sports Night.
For more content like this, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, give us a like, and follow our socials down below.
And as always, we are
Penn State Sports Night.